Since March 2011, when the uprising began in Syria, around 850,000 people have been displaced internally or to neighbouring countries. Around 250,000 of those people have gone to neighbouring Jordan, where 4 MEPs from the European Parliament were last week. The man to lead that delegation was Juan López Aguilar, the socialist Spanish MEP, and he's here with us today to tell us a bit about the trip and also about the EU's response, really, to the crisis in Syria. Thank you very much for meeting me here today for a coffee.
Pleasure.
You were about 12 kilometres from the Syrian border in a camp which is hosting now about 70,000 people, mostly women, mostly children. Describe a little bit what the living conditions were like.
We visited this camp of Zaatari, which didn't exist just 1 year ago and now hosts some 100,000 people. 100,000 people. So it's a huge city providing services, providing education, providing healthcare with a lot of effort by a country which is not wealthy by no means, which is Jordan. But
and you spoke to some of these refugees. Did they have any hope that they'll soon get to go back home to Syria?
That is a problem. They know that there's a civil war which has been ignored largely by the international community. So, of course, they appreciate the effort by the European Union as a major global actor when it comes to humanitarian aid and cooperation, but they also call for diplomatic and political action. Absolutely. To do something about the situation in there. And of course, the ultimate desire would be bringing down the Ba'ath regime and ousting Bashar al-Assad from power. That is the real truth.
Yeah. Just regarding help, you mentioned their humanitarian aid. Up till now, the EU has pledged some 423 million euros. But is this really getting into the hands of those who need it? According to some people, this has actually been channeled through the Syrian Red Cross, and it's not getting into the hands of those who need it the most. And last week, Guy Verhofstadt, the Liberal leader, said here that we need to channel this in a more unorthodox way. Do you agree with that?
We're all aware that when it comes to providing help and resources and financial resources, there is always the problem of getting every single penny aiming the point, aiming the goal and reaching it out. We always know that there is a risk of money being spent and not getting, not reaching out to the target, not getting to the final end. We all know about that, but yet the financial effort by the European Union amounts up to 460 million euros so far. So it is important that we cooperate with the Jordan authorities. It is important that we cooperate with the United Nations
and that the
High
EU
Commissioner for
cooperates with
Refugees
the member states
and non-governmental organizations. And of course, the European Union delegation is there to take care that every euro is correctly spent reaching out the target. But we have heard complaints about that, and we know that there is always something in the middle preventing every single penny to reach out to the proper target. So it is a must that we take care that the money is correctly spent.
Okay, and just finally, what about the ICC? Do you think Syria should be taken to the ICC? I mean, Human Rights Watch said that the EU, we did of course win the Nobel Peace Prize, so to live up to that reputation, it's time to take Syria and Bashar al-Assad to the ICC. Do you agree?
That is a challenge, and that is an issue at stake, precisely. Maybe some 2 years ago, when the so-called Arab Spring burst out in Syria, Bashar al-Assad had a real chance to step down peacefully and bringing about some kind of an opening process to come up with political solutions, speaking directly to the opposition leaders, maybe 2 years ago. Now, real tough. That's very unlikely to happen. It has the appearance of being a fight of life and death for the Ba'ath regime and for Bashar al-Assad himself, which is not good news, of course, because it means that a lot of bloodshed is to be expected before bringing down the regime and its top leaders, including Bashar al-Assad. And of course, the likeliness of a final end to the ICC is growing higher and higher, precisely because of the violence, precisely because of the oppression, precisely because of the repression, and precisely because of the continued bombshells and casualties that are not being spared, because they are aware that it is about the end of the regime in a fight for life and death.
Okay, and for the moment, the EU this week did, of course, extend the current sanctions for the next 3 months. Juan López Aguilar, thank you very much for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me here.